Thank you so much for joining us for our latest edition of Subro in Seconds, Butler's video blog on up-to-the-moment issues and case law affecting the subrogation world. Nationwide, construction is booming, and experts predict this trend to continue for many more years to come. In fact, according to Tradesmen International, construction industry's real output is estimated to reach almost $1.2 trillion by 2020. Some of the biggest areas of growth are expected to be in the residential and commercial markets. With that type of growth, we can expect to also see an increase in the amount of residential and commercial leases. This is a perfect time for us to revisit subrogation in the landlord-tenant context. The analysis starts with one of the most basic tenets of subrogation law, and that is an insurer cannot subrogate against its own insured, also known as the anti-subrogation rule. When we have a loss that's caused by tenant negligence and paid for by the landlord's carrier, the critical question is whether the tenant is considered a co-insured under the landlord's policy. Courts address this question by generally using one of three approaches. Many jurisdictions, including Florida, implement the case-by-case analysis. Under this approach, the court will review the lease as a whole to try to ascertain the parties' intentions as to who bears the risk of loss when damage is caused by tenant negligence. In doing so, the court focuses on many key provisions in a typical lease, including what's known as an insurance premium pass-through clause. This clause requires a tenant to pay towards or for the landlord's insurance costs. When present, courts will oftentimes determine that this clause is enough to deem the tenant a co-insured under the landlord's policy. This type of provision was recently analyzed by Florida's 3rd District Court of Appeals in a case called Zurich American Insurance Company versus Puccini. In that case, the lease required the tenant to pay towards a number of common expenses, including the landlord's insurance premiums. The court recognized the premium pass-through clause, but instead put additional emphasis on an indemnity provision and other provisions in favor of the landlord. The court ruled that it was clear that the party's intention was for the tenant to bear the risk of loss for any damages caused by its negligence. This decision highlights why it's more important now than ever for subrogating insurers to consult with their counsel and carefully evaluate the terms of each lease. For more information on this case, please visit our website, www.butler.legal, and read the article authored by Thomas Burgess titled Know Your Lease. Please be sure to download our most recent episode of Subro Sense, Butler's podcast dedicated to subrogation professionals. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm your host, Aaron Jacobs. Until next time.